David Pittman, set to be executed today in Florida, September 17th, 2025 at 6 p.m. Could his victims have been saved because of a report that was done before he was released from the work release center? I want to talk about that. But first, let's talk about Pittman's history briefly, and then how we must ask the question, did the system fail the family of the victims? Back in 1990, but we have two people still alive. I'm sorry, two people, one alive today that wrote the report, and one has since passed. Let's just talk about his history real quick to let you know what kind of guy we got here. David Pittman began his prison career, as I call it, by committing a crime on 8/31/1981, burglary of a structure. 8/25/1985, aggravated assault with weapon, no intent to kill. 11/6/1988, grand theft. And then we have him staying in prison, going to a work release center, and in 1990, on May 15th, 1990, he killed his ex-wife's family. She was supposed to be involved in that, and here's how we know. He got the death sentence. Now remember what I'm going to talk about. He got out of the Bartow Work Release Center on January 19th, 1990, Bartow, Florida Work Release Center. He committed the murders on May 15th, 1990. Married to Marie, the daughter of Barbara and Clarence Knowles, parents of her sister, Bonnie. Before he left the Work Release Center, he flat out told a correctional officer with a sergeant as a witness that he was going to get out. When they asked him, what are you going to do when you get out of work release? Statements from the living officer that I spoke to yesterday. What are you going to do when you get out of work release? Oh, I'm going to live under a bridge, and I'm going to kill my ex-wife and her family, and after I kill them, I'm going to burn them. Well, folks, that was in 1990. A report was written with everything he said, and it was turned in, and it was told to the officer, who's alive today and can testify that, and the sergeant, who is gone now, that the report was sent up the chain of command. Now, what I think should have happened, did it happen? Maybe. I don't know. This is 1990. And what should have happened after the report was turned in? Well, there should have been a call to the sheriff's office, because Bartow Work Release Center, when they have a problem, they could call the sheriff's office, which is in Polk County, part of that work release center. And somebody in the chain of command, the officer did the correct thing, folks, turned in and wrote exactly the threats he made. Somebody at the main, maybe at Polk Correctional, the warden's office, or higher up in the regional office, the Region 5 office in Tampa at that time, somebody should have called the sheriff and says, hey, this guy's about to get out of prison, and he's threatening to kill his wife and her mother, father, and sister, and burn them. Also, the state attorney should have been notified. An investigation should have been done. He should have been put on a detainer by someone in corrections, or the Polk County Sheriff, or taken into custody by Polk County Sheriff until the investigation was completed. And this should have been looked into. What else should have happened? The victim should have been notified. Hey, this guy is about to be released from the Bartow Work Release Center. Hey, he has just said he's going to kill all of you and burn you. They need to know. It's their right. Did that happen? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe somebody living today can tell. But look, it's a sad thing that the forewarning didn't stop this killing. It's very sad if the department didn't follow through. Very, very sad. I'm sorry, Florida Department of Corrections, but if that wasn't done, if the sheriff wasn't called, if the state attorney wasn't notified, if he wasn't held until they investigated or at least questioned by the sheriff's department, I think he should have been charged again for death threats. 2 witnesses. I'm going to kill them and burn them. Anyway, it's over now. That we don't know if that happened or not. I just hate it when we have a system in place that can be used. Maybe it could have stopped it, maybe not. Maybe he would have gotten out after that charge and still done this. I don't know. I'm not a mind reader, but I just hate it when we don't use the tools available to possibly stop a crime. So what happened? 5 months later, not 5 months later, he got out in January 1990, May 15, 1990. He goes to the home of Barbara and Clarence. They were home, the parents of his ex-wife. The sister was in there, Bonnie. The ex-wife was not there. He kills Barbara and Clarence and the sister, puts them in the house and sets it on fire. He steals their car, takes their car and abandons the car in a ditch and burns the car. He goes to death row. Here's something else really gets me. 34 years on death row. I'm waiting for 6 p.m. today to have a cigar and a sip of bourbon to celebrate the death of this guy. 34 years he got to sit in a cell. Okay, he's in a cell, but is he alive and breathing? Yes. Had a TV, I'm sure. Played checkers, I'm sure. Played cards, I'm sure. Ate 3 meals a day. Look at his fat ass now in this picture. And then you see him when he was young as well. You know, he got to still live and breathe and know what's going on in the world while the victims are gone way too early from this world. It's a shame he had so many years to live after this. He had many appeals. Some of the appeals had statements in it like he had a very rough childhood. Look, if he had a rough childhood, any child that has a rough childhood, I'm sorry, but that's no excuse to go kill people. Did he have mental illness? Oh, then they had some more stuff in there about he had some mental issues possibly or whatever. You know what? There's just no excuse. He earned the right to this execution today. And there's people right now begging for a stay of execution at the last minute. We'll find out by 6 p.m. tonight, Eastern Time, Florida, if he's convicted, if he is not electrocuted. I wish, but it's lethal injection. Old Sparky doesn't work anymore here in Florida. I just wanted to get this out there and say it possibly could have been prevented. What do you think? Am I off target here? Am I not? Am I off target, or should that have been done? Should he have been charged with death threats? Should the state attorney have been notified? Should the sheriff have been notified? I sure think so. Let me know what you think. Prayers for the family and friends who are going to relive this again today with the execution. I thought maybe I would do the video on the day of the execution because they're already going to relive it today, folks. The execution is going to happen. It's going to the rest of the family is going to relive it all again today. Say a prayer for the family and friends, and let's hope this execution goes through at 6 p.m. If it does, I believe it's number 12 this year alone for the state of Florida to get these murderers out of here. Please subscribe. Gary York, True Prison Stories. Thank you for watching.